What's going on, Washington fans? Welcome to the JTFB channel. I've missed y'all. It has been a while since I have gone live. As y'all know, moved back to Virginia. Finally got everything situated the last like 2 or 3 weeks, which kind of worked out perfectly with the off season and everything. I don't have the best internet right now, so if things get wonky, just let me know. We're gonna rock with it still. But it's time to get back. It's time to really take my spot over. And I'm telling y'all, I missed it, but do not worry. I have been working in the background. There's a lot of exciting things coming up. I have a massive opportunity coming up on Wednesday, so positive thoughts on that. But it's something that could just completely blow everything wide open, and I'm super excited about it. There's a lot of stuff to be excited about with this team. There's still a lot of stuff, even though it is the off season. So there is some topics we will be talking about with our check-in this offseason with OTAs starting Wednesday, I want to say. Is Terry going to get paid? I know B-Rob has been pissed off at fans for a little while now. Like I said, OTAs are starting. And then obviously, can Washington or will Washington sign any more free agents until the season starts? We'll see. At least like we have a quarterback. We're not like the Steelers, and OTAs are about to start and they're just waiting on Aaron Rodgers, which is kind of crazy. But I appreciate y'all coming through here. What's going on, Billy? We got Jay in the chat. What's going on? Appreciate y'all coming through here. At least my audio is good. I'll take it if you can hear me. You don't really need to see this anyways. At least I got my like setup done finally. HTTC, appreciate y'all coming through. What's up, Josh? Let's talk about how Tyler Algier will be our starting running back 1 next year. I don't know. I think Jeremiah Love at Notre Dame has something to say about that. But this is a free stream of just whatever y'all want to talk about. So like I said, I have my topics. I really want to go through, talk about some things with OTAs. Obviously, I'm going to be doing more individual videos, not like live stuff, but I'll start doing some more individual videos on like these topics, like more in depth, something I, can do like a 30, 40-minute video one, put it out instead of just being live for like 8 hours talking about everything. But any kind of questions, stuff like that, this is the spot for it. I wanted to just jump right back into it and get back into the groove because things are going to be ramping up. Like I said, there's still stuff going on. Still, we are Washington, at least it's like somewhat positive stuff. George said Terry McLaurin gets his deal right before camp and it's not going to be an issue. JCM for a running back 1, I'm all for it. It will feel strange not talking about the draft. It is strange. I will say draft season starts for me very soon, honestly, just because, scouting and stuff like that. But with the team and with this opportunity coming up, I'm probably actually going to wait to start doing like scouting and stuff for the next draft once the season actually starts, like for college football, which is not that far away. Honestly, it comes by fast. I'm super excited, guys. I'm so glad to be back in Virginia. Not too far from Fredericksburg. I will be moving to either the Nova, like Alexandria area, or Maryland, like Rockville area, probably right before the season starts. So if you have any recommendations on that, let me know. But let's talk about Terry. Let's talk about Terry McLaurin because I think this is something I feel like it hasn't really been blown out of proportion yet. I feel like it's slowly starting to, like I've seen a couple national media people, a couple like Washington content creators start to say like, oh, well, like Terry this, Terry that, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be a distraction. Like, why is Washington taking so long to get this done? Why wasn't it done before? And I think there's a lot of things that go into it. Obviously, he missed like that 1 day of practice. Jordan Schultz tweeted it out, and then, I tweeted out what he said. He's been like at everything else up to then. And this has been like all of like voluntary stuff anyways. I'm interested to see if he is there Wednesday at OTAs. Let me check the date. I'm pretty sure it's on Wednesdays, the first OTA date. Because like the NFL sent out an email. Yeah, so May 28th and May 30th. So that is Wednesday and Friday. So I am interested to see if Terry shows up to OTAs. If it doesn't happen this week, it will be an issue. I still don't think it will be. So Buddy Baker is one hell of an agent. I like Buddy. Cool dude. I'm going to try to reach out to him because he follows me on Twitter, just to see what he says. I don't think he'll just give me like some scoop of how the contract's going, but you never know if you don't ask. But I like Buddy. I think Buddy, like I said, I think he's a hell of an agent. I think he's a really good agent. And I think, missing that one day, and I said this too on Twitter, like it's not ever going to be, oh, Terry McLaurin's holding out or Terry's not going to practice because he wants a new deal. I promise y'all, if anything, and I'm pretty sure this is what happened with him back in, was it 2022 in his last contract, where he like missed a couple practices and he's like, I don't want to. I'm not that guy. I'm not that player. I'm not the kind of person just to miss practices. Like I want to be with the team. I want to be doing like, my job. But of course, you're, as an agent, your job is to protect your players. Your job is to get them paid. And if he says, hey, Terry, this is like voluntary stuff, whatever, like just sit out, man. You've been at everything. I feel like for me, that means that the deal is getting really close. You don't just say, hey, man, just miss this entire thing. We're holding out until this contract deal heats up. They've been from my understanding, from everything that I've heard, they've been talking about this contract for a while. And I'm pretty sure Adam Peters even said, when was it? Was it like it wasn't the combine? I think it was like right after, was it the draft time? I think it was around the draft time. He was saying like, talks with Terry are like starting up kind of. It didn't sound like things were like deep in conversation, like, oh, things are almost done. But I feel like you don't just get to that point of like, okay, Terry, start missing practice now, unless things are getting like pretty close. Like, hey, we're close to a deal. We don't want to risk anything. We don't want you to tweak something or get hurt. Like what we saw with like Justin Jefferson and that ordeal. Obviously, he still got paid, but there was this factor of, thank you. It was the owner's meeting. That's what it was. Thank you. I knew it was sometime where he met with media, talked to him. One of the 20 times we've seen him in the last few months. George, if the last regime that was terrible was able to get something done with Terry McLaurin, I think this regime knows what it's doing and we'll be able to get it done. Yes, thank you, Greg. It was during the owners meeting. Appreciate that. I completely blanked on when it was, but yeah, I do agree that this regime will get it done. I think there's a couple factors that go into it though. Like obviously they didn't get it done around like the draft and before then and stuff like that. Cause obviously with free agency, you want to spend what you have and kind of know where you are before you start getting into conversations about, the highest paid player on your team possibly. And you don't want to just do that and then kind of put yourself in a bind with other free agent signings. So like, I knew it wasn't going to happen in free agency. I thought it could happen around the draft time. Like just get it out of the way. Don't even like let it be an issue. Which I still don't think it is an issue. I think if people make it an issue, it's because there's nothing to talk about, honestly. But it's like practice and stuff yet. Or the people that are good at what they do don't have anything to talk about. No shade to anyone, but I'm just saying, like, if you're at practices, you're watching practices and stuff like that, you should have other stuff to talk about besides, oh, Terry McLaurin doesn't have a deal yet. Like, tell me about the offensive line. Tell me about this. And that's things I'm excited to see, like, when I go to practices and stuff. But I think it's getting close. And like I said, the only reason I really say that is because this was just like a one-time random practice-ish. And I know it was like at the end of like what, phase 2, phase 3, whatever phase they're in right now. What's going on, man? Welcome. I feel like, like I said, Buddy's a good agent. He knows what he's doing. I feel like if the deal is close to getting done, that's when, as an agent, you're like, hey, man, we're almost there. We don't want to risk anything. Just sit out this voluntary practice type. So, like I said, if they don't get it done by Wednesday, if something crazy doesn't happen tonight or tomorrow, and we get to Wednesday and it's OTA time, and Terry isn't out there, I still don't think it's an issue. Because, like I said, they have the Wednesday, they have the Friday practice. So be it. Obviously, we know Terry wants to be out there. Once again, it is it's a business. This is the business side of things. If you're missing practice, it's once again not, Terry has not once come out and said, I'm not happy. I'm not paid. I need a contract, blah, blah, blah. Nothing around that. So they come back Wednesday, and then they have a Wednesday practice for OTA, and then Friday they have a practice according to the schedule that NFL like communications sent out to like media. What's going on with Shop with Charles down in Texas still? Smash that like button. Appreciate it. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you do like. When was Cosme signed last year? Was it OTAs or Mini Camp? That's a great question. When was that? Cannot remember off the top of my head. I might have to Google it here in a second. Not like Terry is showing up to OTAs and a suit ripping organization like Trey Hendrickson. Yeah, Trey Hendrickson looked like a. So I saw someone tweet this and it was like spot on because I've seen these people before. You know, working in the auto industry. Someone said that that Trey Hendrickson looked like a BMW salesman showing up to practice, trying to sell the players' cars. That's exactly what he looked like. Cosme signed on September 4th. Appreciate it. So it was well after training camp and right before the season starts. Charles is headed to Virginia in July. Let me know when. I might be here. I might not be here. I'm definitely going to be here for training camp. I'll be at every single practice. Should be on the sidelines too. So yeah, he was September 4th, a week before the season. I think the season started September 11th last year. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure. So it could be around the same time. I think they want to get it done before training camp. That's just my gut. That's like nothing like rumored or anything like that. I think they want to get it done before training camp. But then also to keep in mind, maybe they're not done signing other people yet. Maybe they're telling Terry, like, hey, man, like, you know, this is top priority for us. We want to get you a new deal. It's probably going to be like a 3-year, 30 mil per year kind of deal, whatever. I think he's worth that. Say they want to go get Zadarius Smith. Say they want to go get Clowney or Jackson that got released from the 49ers. Like, just say they want to do that. Once again, you kind of want to have everything settled and finalized. Like, you're like, all right, I think we're done with the team. Now let's get Terry like done. You don't want to sign Terry to a deal. And it's mostly like for the sake of this year, like how much Terry gets paid this year. It's not like Terry's not going to get paid if we go get Zadarius Smith or Von Miller. Not what I'm saying at all. But when you're really constructing his deal, and you're looking at what's the 2025 cap hit, maybe that number is just, you know, fragile because if you sign a Zadarius Smith, a Von Miller, it's a 1-year deal. You're not signing these guys to a 3-year deal, and that first year is really, you know, friendly like they did with like Austin Eckler, what they did with Allegretti, Dorrance Armstrong, a lot of these 3-year guys that they signed. And you're signing these vets for 1 year. So say it's a 1-year, $7 million deal, $8 million deal. That's a pretty big chunk out of what you have left. There's not a lot of money left. So I think they're definitely open to it. One, because if you can get better, of course you want to get better. You're open to getting better, whether that's adding a pass rush or whether that's adding somebody else. And JJ, we're definitely going to talk about that with the Ramsey rumor that Fowler put out. Definitely going to mention that here in a second. But if that's the case, if you're open to signing a 1-year guy, like I said, a Von Miller, Zadarius Smith, any one of like that veteran, Jadeveon Clowney is another one. That 1-year deal is going to be a hard thing to do if you don't structure Terry's 3-year deal properly. Now, what allows that to happen is, you know, like Adam Peters loves to do with his 3-year deals, even the Javon Kinlaw deal, the first year and the second year, it's really favorable. Like it's not as much, it's not even close to what fans thought, especially that first year. So it's not much of a cap hit that year one, but if you're signing a vet to a 1-year deal, it can heavily impact numbers. So I personally think that they are open to adding some more free agents, whether it's a vet like Von Miller or, like I said, Jadeveon Clowney, someone of that nature, especially if we're looking at edge. Would it surprise me if they didn't sign somebody? No. One thing that has stuck out to me for the last, since he said it, honestly, was actually from Lance Newmark, who we don't hear a lot of, from ever. Like he's so quiet. Like we don't hear about him much, which is cool. But when he talks, I get excited because he's my kind of guy. And he confirmed that when he said after the draft, I forgot who it was, somebody in media asked him a question and said, like, okay, you know, free agency's done, the draft is done, whatever. Like, are y'all done adding players? You didn't draft an edge rusher. Like, you know, what's going on? Obviously, they added Gay as the kicker right after this and released Gonzalez. And Lance Newmark said, look, in my office, I have a board of players that are free agents right now that I look at on a daily basis. I loved hearing that. And he said, you know, we are in conversations with some of these players. Some of these players don't want to get signed right now. I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers, perfect example. He doesn't want to, you know, have to deal with the voluntary stuff. He doesn't want to have to, you know, deal with any of these practices like Von Miller. He has nothing to prove in the league. If he says, I don't want to sign till training camp, I don't want to show up till late July, then that's somebody that could happen. That could happen later on. Charles said, who do I think we're signing later this offseason? Yeah, who do you think we're signing later this offseason? So, I mean, pretty much what I'm getting into right now is I think it's open. You know, J.K. Dobbins is a guy out there that I really like at running back, still young. The Texans were rumored to really like him. They were kind of working on some things, but I'm looking at those three guys, and then I'll throw, you know, J.K. Dobbins as like an honorable mention because I think anything's possible. If they don't like what they see from the running back committee, and I'm not talking about like, you know, Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt, I'm talking like Austin Eckler, B-Rob, the guys you haven't really, you know, seen much in the second half of the season, and you're not really, you know, in some financial hole with. But if they're like, hey, we would rather have J.K. Dobbins for the exact same price that B-Rob's going to be making this season, then it wouldn't surprise me. But I'm really looking at vet-wise, Jadeveon Clowney, Von Miller, Zadarius Smith. If I had to rank them, I would probably say Zadarius Smith 1, Jadeveon Clowney 2, Von Miller 3. Just based off of snap count, Von Miller is a third and fourth down guy. He's just going to rush the passer for you. Zadarius Smith played a lot more snaps than he did last year. Talking about Von Miller, played more snaps than Von Miller, played a lot more running snaps than Von Miller. I think Jadeveon Clowney is a guy who can, you know, put his hands in the dirt every down. Same thing. So I think those are the three guys once again, unless someone just offers them like a crazy deal, like, hey, we're going to give you a 1 year, $12 million deal, something stupid. I don't think these guys are ready to be signed or ready to start showing up to stuff until about training camp. Because once again, these are all guys that have been around the league. They're vets. They have nothing to prove. And it's not like they just need to be there for these voluntary meetings. That makes no sense to me. They'd rather be with their families right now. They're in Aruba. If you look on their Instagrams, they're in like Miami, Australia. They're in places right now. They don't want to be in Ashburn, Virginia as a 10-year vet or something. Like, oh my gosh, you know, got to deal with, you know, these training camps again when I know I can just join the team and train it like in late training camp, late July. I can still spend some time with my family. My kids just got out of school. Like, that's just the thought process of the vets. And that's why people like Aaron Rodgers, what are you doing? He doesn't want to go to OTAs. He barely wanted to do OTAs when he was like a starting quarterback, like already on the team. Do you think he wants to go to OTAs for the Steelers right now? Heck no. He wants to spend time with his like witch girlfriend or whoever he's dating. I don't blame him. I don't want to be in Ashburn, Virginia in, you know, mid-May, knowing that I have 2 months left until like valuable practices happen. So I get it. And I know fans are like, Josh, why are we not signing anyone? What's going on? Why is it taking so long? Is it a Commanders thing? Is it an AP thing? No. That's just how the league is. Like that's just the veteran way of doing things. So if I had to predict, do we sign one more person at least? I say, yeah, it could happen like right before training camp. It could happen now. It all depends on, I don't think it's too much so Washington. Cause once again, when Newmark's like, hey, we're communicating with these players. And he even said it himself. some of them aren't really, wanting to be signed right now. Some of them are just like, hey, I'm enjoying this time off. I don't have I don't have a schedule to where I have to be at practice tomorrow. I have to do this. Of course, they're still training, they're still working out, they're still in shape, but they don't have to show up for a team at 6 a.m. tomorrow or whatever, and start watching film and stuff like that. So they don't have to do that. So I think we could. It could even come after like cuts. If straight up they're like looking at stuff, I'd be surprised if it takes this long. But I think training camp is likely when it's going to happen. Like you want to sign a vet 2 weeks probably before training camp so they can at least, get their feet wet on their defense or offensive scheme, whatever's going on. And then, they're competing at training camp. So if you don't like what you see from your edges, you don't like what you see from certain running backs, or even other positions. Heck, I know we're stuck on edge and we're stuck on like J.K. Dobbins at running back, but if there's other positions you don't like, you're like, hey, we need some competition. They're not afraid to compete. They say that word all the time, competition, or they're going to compete, or this or that. And I fully believe them on that. So I'd be surprised. I think it's more likely to make a signing beginning or middle of July, unless someone really wants to come in. Let's roll with what we have, and we will see. We're still building this thing up. I agree to a good extent with you, Alonzo. We've already made major improvements. We were already good last year, and I feel like we improved in a lot of different spots that fans really aren't talking too much about. Is Drake Jackson cleared from waivers? Haven't heard anything. Yeah, I don't think anything picked him up. So obviously that's one to watch because he's a younger guy. Drafted by the 49ers, coached up by the 49ers, obviously with AP, defensive line coach, Tap, I think was there at the same time. So there's a lot with him. I do like Drake Jackson. I kind of liked him coming out of college. I think he was overdrafted, but he's still young. So you want to see what he's got that really hasn't been tapped into yet. Matt Judon's an interesting one too. I don't really know how I feel about Judon. I'd probably put him right there with Jadeveon Clowney. I think Zadarius Smith is still my favorite. And then it'd be like Judon and Clowney. And then I do like Von Miller at the bottom there. I don't think AP is going to be too impressed. Anyone that doesn't want to deal with voluntaries at camp. I mean, that's just the veteran way though. Like it's honestly no shade at like, oh, this guy doesn't want to be at camp, like, OTAs or anything. He doesn't want to be there now. As an older vet, like your body is just worn out. You don't want this like unnecessary stuff. So it's honestly just part of the process. It's part of being a veteran in the NFL. I hate to say it, but that's just what it is. Off topic, but I hear we may not release the new jerseys off season. Only the helmet will be released. Yeah, it's been the main thing. I know a lot of people were like swearing we were getting new uniforms. I was never really on that boat that we were going to get new uniforms. But I mean, heck, from what it sounds like, it's just like a tweak to the black helmet, which I feel like that's the only thing that need to be tweaked with the black uniform anyways. If you make that like good looking, then cool. I'm with it. Competition is thought process that DQ values. Yeah, I mean, I do agree with that. Thinking outside the box, Chandler Jones, I know he had off-the-field issues, but so does Miller. He fits the scheme better than Zadarius Smith. Yeah, Chandler Jones is a head case, Merle. But it'd be interesting to see. I don't see him really playing anywhere. We need more competition at safety. Definitely agree there. Like, honestly, I'd rather him sign another safety than, signing another edge rushers. Like, honestly, I don't like our depth at safety at all. I think our depth at safety is really bad. We won't sign anyone after minicamp. Exactly. That's pretty much my thought process too. Jay, you think Gabe Taylor has a chance for at least the practice squad? Or do you think we're out on him? I don't know. The very, very small feedback you heard from it was like, he looks good. Especially someone that's like 5'8". But I mean, you have to think I know they released Trey Rucker from Oklahoma State, but they really like Robert McDaniel from Jackson State, and they should. He's like 6'2", 205. He's rocked up. He's a big dude. I really like McDaniel. I think this is a guy that can make the active roster. Because once again, I don't like the depth at safety. I mean, just looking at our depth chart right now, behind Will Harris and Quan Martin, you have Percy Butler, Jeremy Reeves, Ben Nickel, and Tyler Owens. That is terrible. And like, no offense to Reeves, I think he's really good on special teams. But if he's getting quality time at safety, I'm concerned. Same with Percy Butler. I think that ship's going to sail. It would not surprise me if he's cut, if they can bring in like a Justin Simmons, or if Robert McDaniel just is, good day one, which is a possibility. It's a possibility. I think McDaniel's fantastic. They just showed him so much attention throughout the draft process. They were really high on him. So I think they have really high hopes for him. But it's just like, I think there is a path for Gabe. And just because we haven't like signed him yet, I'm not really ruling that out of, he's done. Like, there's no chance, like it's over kind of thing. Maybe he gets an invite to like training camp, to where he is like one of these practice squad guys. But for right now, I'm pretty sure they have a full roster, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe they'll have to release somebody, but I mean, they still have a ton of like depth guys they can easily get rid of. Like corner and stuff like that. They still have a lot of personality, and there's some guys that are filling out the depth, like I said. But safety, Percy Butler, Jeremy Reeves. I like Tyler Owens better than both of them, honestly. If he can grow, he's just a freak athlete. Ben Nickel, zero expectations for him. But yeah, Percy Butler, Jeremy Reeves having any kind of starting quality time really worries me. Yeah, I agree. I think Z Smith is 1, Clowney 2, Judon 3, Vaughn 4. Definitely can see it. Do you think the youngster from Temple in trouble, being as though they drafted the Bruin? Nah, not at all. The thing that really killed Jordan McGee last year was just those injuries. Like, he was on IR a little bit. I think he had like two separate injuries last year. But I think they're different players. I think Kane Medrano, he's going to be playing linebacker. I think he's more of like that hybrid safety, just a, really good coverage guy. He can tackle. He did have some missed tackle problems though, but he was just in a lot of situations of tackling though. So, situations go up. Obviously, you're going to miss a little bit more than a couple people, but I like Kane Medrano. I'm excited to see what he brings, but I'm definitely higher on Jordan McGee. I think he could take over for Bobby Wagner when Bobby leaves as like that middle linebacker, kind of like that field general. Obviously, Frankie Louvu can do it. I think Louvu is good in coverage. I think he can be better. He dropped some interceptions last year that really bothered me. But he's really good at blitzing. He's really good at wrapping up in the line of scrimmage and, tackles for loss and stuff like that. Just being aggressive, just, sticking his nose in there. But I think Jordan McGee, the thing that I loved about him at Temple is he was just like that guy. He was the leader. So whether it's, going into coverage, communicating with the rest of the defense, stopping the run, blitzing, he does everything well. So I just want to see him stay healthy, first off, but just continue to grow and continue to get better. But I have really high hopes for Jordan McGee. I'm not going to lie. I have really high hopes for him. I think Cam Medrano is going to be that guy that rotates in a lot of these passing situations. I saw a lot of people comparing him to like Drew Tranquill, and I can really see that. I know people say that about a lot of people, but I think Medrano is actually one of the guys that really like compares to Drew Tranquill a lot. I would love to see Justin Simmons with us. I personally would love that because, once again, I just don't like the safety room, but I feel like Justin Simmons, if he signs, he's going to be like, hey, I want to start. So does Will Harris, move to, I mean, he's not moving to corner, especially with, Marshawn and Mikey and Trey Amos. Maybe he's just like your third rotational safety. Who knows? But I just don't see Justin coming here if he's not like starting or playing pretty like daggone valuable time. I know a 34-year-old linebacker is going to show up. Very, very true. Jacoby Brooks, Timothy McKay, and Robert McDaniel make the roster. I think so. The only thing that bothers me with Timothy McKay was obviously that torn pec. We'll see if he can get healthy. Greg says, I know you're personally not high on the Ramsey trade, but I'd do it and move him to safety for a post-June 1st trade. It's a move. He said he wants to make to safety. Long as it's day 3 pick, I'm cool. All right, let's talk about Ramsey. Like I said, I know Fowler. He didn't tweet it out, but he was talking about it like on a video on a show. And he personally said Washington was one of the teams that checked in on Ramsey. The only reason I'm not high on it is because, one, you're taking on a contract that another team put together, and I don't really like his contract. But then also just the picks too. Like, we don't have a lot of picks next year. We're already like a low again because we traded the 2nd and the 4th, and that Laramie Tunsil trade. So you're already in the hole. At what point do you finally just focus on your younger core? And I get it. If you can get better, cool. But I feel like the Ramsey trade just goes against everything that Adam Peters has done so far. And when I say that, I mean he doesn't like getting into a bad financial situation. He doesn't like, you could talk about John Allen. I think that was a great example. Just couldn't agree on the contract. It was hard to move on because, he's a good player. I know a lot of fans don't like him, but he's still a good player. But Adam Peters is very particular when it comes to contracts and when it comes to, your team not being in this hole. And I know you have a rookie quarterback, so it makes it easier, but still, I feel like it just goes against all of his morals of doing that Ramsey trade, especially after the Lattimore trade. And he loves picks. Like he loves the drafts. I know we just had a draft where we didn't trade back, surprised a lot of people, didn't take an edge player, like surprised a lot of people. I get it. But at some point, you have to just draft and keep developing these guys and keep building that younger roster. And because you're going to pay Jaden Daniels a lot of money. Not yet, but it's coming up in a few years, obviously. But then also Laramie Tunsil. I think he's got, 2 years left on his deal? So you have to think about next year getting him a new deal. Like, people are talking about him getting a new deal this offseason. That's something that people just kind of stop talking about. But he really hasn't been at anything yet. Talking about vets showing up to waiting until it's mandatory camp. Laramie Tunsil is one of those guys. Does he get a new deal this offseason? I don't think so. I think it would come next year. I like his deal for this year. It's not like he's not getting paid much. Like, he's getting paid a good bit. But you think about Laramie Tunsil getting a contract next year. You have to think about if you extend Terry, the second year of that deal is going to be more than the first year of the deal. So what does your salary cap look like for next year? Same with Debo. He's on a 1-year deal. You ideally want to, extend Debo, give him a new deal if he looks good this year. You don't want to just get him for 1 year and be like, oh, we played good, but we paid Ramsey's contract that he already had. So I'm looking at those 3 guys, Debo, Laramie Tunsil, and Terry, and their deals and how it could impact if you take on a Ramsey contract that's going to be high next year. And I know the salary cap goes up, but the free agency class next year is shaped up to be damn good too. So I know there's some pros, but there's just so many cons for me. Like, what's Ramsey going to look like at safety? I don't know how good he's going to look next year. I don't know. I'm not willing to take on that contract once again that they negotiated. We did it, like Washington did it, and you're trading picks for him. The only thing that would make somewhat sense to me is if they said, okay, we will trade Marshawn Lattimore for Jalen Ramsey, straight up. Marshawn has his existing contract. Ramsey has his existing contract. If for whatever reason, I'd be surprised if that happened, but I'm just saying, I'm not giving up more picks and paying his contract, but I would gladly switch, or even Deron Payne, I guess. But we just don't have that many trade assets. We don't have that many players to trade, but But don't know if day 3 pick is enough. It's hard to currently trade him right now. I think the Dolphins should take what they get. I think he goes to the Rams, but I think it's going to take like a third or a fourth to get him, which is nuts. I think we add a safety before an edge. I wouldn't be mad at it. Gabe is getting a lot of benefit of the doubt. His size is a huge hurdle. Yeah, he's 5'8". I had no idea he was that short. The kid from UCLA is going to be used as a big nickel and roll coverage, but he ran like a 4.44. Yeah, he's fast. He's really good. We still have last year's UDFAs too. And honestly, I like the UDFAs we had this year. I know Merle was talking about them. I really like the UDFAs for this year. Just looking at, like I said, Robert McDaniel, Carlin Vigors, Ricky Barber's kind of an underdog there. Tim McKay, when he gets healthy, Ja'Cory Brooks. I feel really good about all those guys. Cam Arnold, I think he's a sleeper too. I really like Cam Arnold, Boston College linebacker, another guy that got hurt, but he was a beast in college. Big Cam Arnold fan. I can't wait to see him at training camp. Adriano's going to replace Walker. McGee's solid once he's healthy. I agree. If I'm being honest, I think we don't sign an edge and use Luvu more as an edge and Kinlaw as an edge move Jordan McGee to Luvu's spot. I don't think Luvu would just be like moved to an edge, but I can see a situation where we just kind of blitz him more like we did last year. There's a lot of blitz situations with Luvu. They love bringing him, especially against the Eagles. He loves getting in the backfield. I'm not talking like just the tush push, but the plays that stand out to me of Luvu is when he is just in the backfield getting after Jalen Hurts. And I think they could use him more of that role. I think Kinlaw does offer you the ability to play him inside. I'm not putting him at obviously not like a 9 tech. I don't know if I'd put him out at 7 either, but we're talking about 4I or 4 where he's just right inside the tackle or lined up, somewhere around there. Maybe even like a 5 tech. Then I could see that with Kinlaw. But I just really want to see Jordan McGee get healthy this year. I want to see him keep growing because I think the sky is the limit for him. I feel really good about him. I think AP doesn't view edge as a huge need as fans do because the last 6 world champs have won with more of a dominant D tackles rather than edge. Definitely can see that. We need Payne and Newton to step up big this time. So, yeah, I mean, sticking with Javon Kinlaw too. You gave him a pretty good contract. I think Dietrich Wise is actually going to be better than what fans realize. I think Jacob Martin is like one of your rotational pass rusher guys who can get to the quarterback. And I'm telling you, I'm really high on Javonte Jean-Baptiste too. And the limited snaps we saw JJB, which I don't really like JJB. Javonte Jean-Baptiste just sounds good. The few snaps we did see Jean-Baptiste, I thought he looked good. So it would not surprise me if, the growth and the development of him, even Jalen Holmes, even Clelin Ferrell, he's not super young, but he's not old yet. Clelin Ferrell, I'd consider him like a young vet. But I feel like the development of Jean-Baptiste keeps them from signing someone if it just doesn't work out. That's fine. We feel good about what we have with him. They liked him a lot in the draft last year. Got him in the 7th round. But I'm telling y'all, don't be surprised if he makes some noise in training camp and he starts moving up that chart a little bit. Obviously, Dietrich Wise is a guy I think would start. Veteran guy. He can stop the run way better than anyone did in the edge. And Dorrance Armstrong, if he can just play to his best, there were so many times he was so close to getting sacks last year. He has a good spin move. He has a good pass rushing arsenal. It's just the numbers didn't always show up to support it. And obviously you're not just watching Dorrance Armstrong every single snap. All right, where's DA at, But I think if you can get a consistent high level Dorrance Armstrong, you can get Dietrich Wise, who I think is, being underrated by fans because he's not a big name. I think he will stop the run. Is he going to have the sexiest pass rushing numbers? Probably not, but he will still get to the quarterback. But then you have Jacob Martin rotating in. You have Clelin Ferrell rotating in. But I'm telling y'all, do not sleep on Javonte Jean-Baptiste. I think he's one of the breakout players this year. I think obviously my boy Ben, I have him as a breakout guy too. But when you talk about opportunity, he has it. Ben's got to fight through Bates, and then obviously you're not really getting too far with Zach Ertz, starting too. So you're kind of automatically the tight end 3. But with Javonte Jean-Baptiste, you can at least be that second guy behind Dorrance Armstrong, behind Dietrich Wise, to where you're like, hey, look what I'm doing, guys. This is what I'm doing on my limited snaps. I'm ready for more. So for me, when I'm at training camp, when I'm at practice, that's what I'm most looking forward to, is who impresses me out of those depth guys. I think Dorrance Armstrong and Dietrich Wise will end up being the starters. But Jacob Martin, Clelin Ferrell, Jalen Holmes, Javonte Jean-Baptiste, even Andre Jones Jr., and even TJ that we signed, the international guy. I think those are all guys. I'm like, who wants this? Who wants to be that guy? Because opportunity's there. Corner, you don't really have much opportunity. I feel like we got our 3 guys. Even safety. Like I said, there's opportunities at depth. Wide receiver. If you're not Terry and you're not Debo, you're not Noah Brown, who's going to step up? Michael Gallup, Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane's about to be a beast in the slot. Ja'Cory Brooks, Chris Moore, Mike Strachan, Casimir Allen, Jacoby Jones, all those guys. We're probably going to keep 7 wide receivers like we did before. Terry, Noah Brown, Debo, Jalen Lane, and Luke McCaffrey are all locks in my opinion. Who else wants to be there? Michael Gallup, what you got left in the tank? Show me. Ja'Cory Brooks, can you make it as a UDFA? I think so. So I know I kind of just went on this rant for a little bit, but I just talking about competition, talking about showing up, talking about opportunities, and just compete. There are so many opportunities in this offseason. There's so many opportunities in OTAs, mini camp, training camp, whatever. When you're watching film, who is watching film and learning the most? It doesn't just have to be on the field stuff. So there's a lot of storylines. Like I said, I'm going to write about it. I'm going to do videos about it. I'm going to break down each position group, but then also I'm going to highlight these are my favorite battles I'm watching for throughout OTAs, throughout minicamp, throughout training camp, throughout preseason. And there's some really good ones. Offensive line. I know we made a lot of moves. How does it settle out? Who's going to, fill in for Cosme? Is Nick Allegretti just automatically the left guard? Is Nate Herbig going to surprise us? There's a lot of different things I'm so excited to look for. And it's not just who's quarterback? We suck. It doesn't matter. This is what good teams get to talk about now. We have a good team. We have our franchise quarterback. Made it to the NFC Championship game. How can we get to the Super Bowl? Who is going to be the guys that step up and help get us there? Now you have a good team. Now you can talk about the competitions, the depth of the team, the guys who are going to make a difference. Just think about all the successful teams in the past. Some random person will make a big play, a big moment, something crazy throughout the season that changes everything. I mean, Noah Brown with the Hail Mary was one of them, or Jamison Crowder having the game of his life against the Eagles. Olamide Zaccheaus last year. No one thought about Olamide Zaccheaus last year. Everyone's we'll see what he does. And he actually produced really well to the point where a lot of us wanted him back. So who are going to be those players this year coming up? Is it going to be one of the new guys? Is it going to be someone we drafted last year? Do these draft guys develop? That's something I'm going to talk about too, expectations. Who's going to step up? Who's going to just be hey, I still don't exist? There's a lot to talk about. I'm so pumped up. I'm so glad to be back around this team. So, like I said, y'all are going to see me a lot. Y'all are going to see me more than ever. And like I said, I have an opportunity to have an interview on Wednesday. If that goes well, you're going to get sick of how much you see me. So I want y'all to get sick of seeing me though. So I'm pumped. Merle said, I need to see how Tyler Owens looks in minicamp before they sign a safety. I do agree. He's such a freak athlete. If he can just develop, man, he's going to be a stud. Ramsey and Lattimore together don't make sense. The team trusts Mikey and Amos. I agree. I love Amos and I love Mikey. Madrina going to replace Mikael Walker, special teams and coverage linebacker. I see it. I don't see Payne being on the team past this upcoming season unless he has a crazy year. $28 million cap hit in 2026 is insane for the production he gives. I definitely think this is a make or break year for Payne. With all the big deals that are coming, does it already seem unlikely that Debo is even back, even if he has an excellent year? No, I think it's definitely in the cards. You know, they didn't do this signing just for a 1 year thing. Just being honest with you. They did not. And for both sides, Debo doesn't want to just be here for 1 year. Debo wants to be here for the rest of his career. And Washington didn't say, hey, we're fine trading a 5th round pick and paying his contract for a 1 year kind of thing. This is a prove it year for Debo. They wanted to give him that opportunity. They wanted a hungry Debo who's fighting for a contract. He's, in my opinion, unless things just go like terrible, knock on wood, like he gets injured or something like that. But both sides did this deal with the future in mind, not just this year coming up. I think that was a really big part of both sides. Like I said, especially Debo. Debo didn't want to just come here for 1 year at all. He wants more. I can't see carrying the contracts of 2 Pro Bowl quality corners for just 2 more years. Yeah, I don't see it. I like the Lattimore for Ramsey trade idea. Same. It's the only thing that really makes sense to me. What up, JT? Do you think with our roster as constructed is ready to compete on both sides to make it a Final Four again or better? And if not, what are we missing? Appreciate it. I do. I think the one thing some fans are struggling with is to realize how much better our team did get this offseason. Like, you have to remember mostly Jaden Daniels, but a lot of the team, had a big part into getting to the NFC Championship game last year. And it was not a sexy team at all. It was not a sexy team at all. It was ugly. But Jaden Daniels elevates everybody. Obviously, he doesn't play defense. But even in those situations, he helps the defense out because the defense knows, like, hey, we know Jaden Daniels, if he gets the ball one more time, all we got to do is get one more stop and let Jaden Daniels get the ball one more time. And he did it over and over again. He was the most clutch rookie quarterback in NFL history. Most touchdowns in the last, 30 seconds of a game or fourth quarter and overtime by a rookie quarterback. He's clutch. But the team added Laramie Tunsil, Josh Connolly Jr., Deebo Samuel. There's some depth too. Maybe we can get something out of like Michael Gallup. But then Jalen Lane. I think Ja'Cory Crosskey-Merritt is going to be amazing next year. And District says the same thing. 1K yards a season. I don't know about 1K. That'd be nice. But I think the running game is going to be better next year. If B-Rob can get healthy, cool. Let B-Rob be mad at fans. Show it on the field, please. That is all I'm asking. Show it on the field. But I do really, really like Ja'Cory Crosskey-Merritt. I was shocked watching the Shrine Bowl. I was like, yo, this guy's nice. I was literally talking to his agent during the game. I was like, hey, he's nice, man. I think he's going to have a fun draft process. And sure enough, we ended up getting him. And I do like what he brings. But like I said, you just have to really think about the improvements this team made. Just Laramie Tunsil alone, a real left tackle, and then adding Debo's upside and adding Jalen Lane to the offense. Like, we went from De'Ami Brown and Alameda Zaccheaus to Deebo Samuel and Jalen Lane. Major upgrade. No shot at De'Ami, no shot at Alameda Zaccheaus. Both had their big moments last year and both, produced last year. But guys, Deebo Samuel and Jalen Lane, major upgrade. And then once again, no shot at Brandon Coleman, who might be one of your starters this year at guard or whatever. But you got Laramie Tunsil now. You have a top 5 left tackle in the league. And then Josh Connolly Jr., who's your franchise right tackle and possibly could be your franchise left tackle after like 3 or 4 years. That's massive, man. That is so big. Just solidifying the offensive line. This is the best offensive line Washington has had. I can remember, like, since I was very young. And it can only it can get better. Cosme, when he comes back, when he's healthy, that's a damn good line. But then on the defensive side of the ball, I know that's where a lot of the question marks are. You lost John Allen, you lost Chin. You got Jonathan Jones. I like him. Trey Amos, I think, is going to be massive. You got Javon Kinlaw. You got Dietrich Wise. I think Dietrich Wise is an improvement over Fowler. Sack-wise, no. But reliability and stopping those big run plays that happen on us, Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson. There's a lot. We're playing a lot of good running backs this year, too. That got so much better. Like, that alone, the big run game, got better drastically. Will Harris, I feel good about him. We'll see what happens with him. But then also just developing some of those guys for last year. Luke McCaffrey, if he can step up. My guy Ben. Jerzon Newton having a bigger role this year. We talked about Jordan McGee for a good length. There's just a lot of opportunities. Javonte Jean-Baptiste, there's just a lot of opportunities. So I think the team is better. If I had any concern, I still would like a vet on the edge. If they don't really like what they see, they want more. And then safety. I think safety is my biggest thing. Safety is my biggest gripe right now. Safety is for sure bigger gripe than edge. If we go into the season with Dietrich Wise and Dorrance Armstrong, and your backups are Javonte Jean-Baptiste, Cullen Farrell, and Jacob Martin, I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's see what we got. But if, we have Will Harris and Quan Martin, I'm like, damn, I hope nobody gets hurt because it's going to be Percy Butler or Jeremy Reeves. But once again, I like Robert McDaniel a lot. I think he's going to be nice. I think he's going to be a good safety. I think he's a UDFA steal, but we'll see. I still think safety, though, is I'm like, ooh, Simmons, what are you doing next week? Jalen Lay on special teams and slot's going to be crazy. I agree. Shout out to Kill Bill. Terry isn't a blank check guy. He's worth about DJ Moore contract. If he doesn't want that, the Bears talking about swap more for Terry. Hell no, we're not swapping. Let's see. Hoping Lattimore can play the entire season. Even saying that sounds crazy. So I think that's a big factor too. Last year with Lattimore, he was kind of in a tough situation. He had the injury, got traded, took a little while for him to get healthy. Then it was like, bam, he went out there. Against, he had like Mike Evans, AJ Brown, looked good against the Saints, but it's just like he was dealing with this injury. Like, oh, he's kind of hurt still, but he's got to go face AJ Brown this weekend. So it was a bad situation. But with that being said, there were moments where he looked really good. If he can just get healthy and stay healthy for the whole season, then we'd be set. Ramsey at safety would go crazy, but it's just going to cost you so much. Louisville will take over Wagner's role. We'll see about that. I like our safety situation. Gabe Taylor is going to ball out. Well, Gabe Taylor's not on the team. He's not on the team. So, like I said, he didn't get signed after his tryout or anything. Maybe they bring him back as like a practice squad guy, but as of right now, he's not a safety on the team. Only safeties you got is Will Harris, Quan Martin, Jeremy Reeves, Percy Butler, Tyler Owens, Ben Nikhil, and technically Robert McDaniel. They have him listed as a nickelback, which he can play corner, but I like him as a safety. I like him as a strong safety. But yeah, Gabe Taylor is not on the team. We got to be patient, let our coaches develop the young players we have now. I completely agree with that, Jacoby. Jason Fowler was great for us, but let's remember before last year, he had 4 total sacks. So, I mean, if Jacob Martin can give me 6 sacks this year, cool. I'm happy. Dietrich Wise, if you can stop the run at a very high rate and you're only getting like 5 sacks, I'm still fine with that. Perfectly fine with that. If the sacks are coming via Javon Kinlaw, Deron Payne, Jerzon Newton, and Dorrance Armstrong, I don't care who gets the sacks as long as we get the sacks. But I want the stuff that doesn't show up in the numbers, and that's the run stops. How do you feel about our offensive line strength and flexibility versus our NFC East, mainly New York and Philly? I mean, obviously they have good lines. New York got better. Philly got worse when it comes to the D line. They lost some key guys. I think the depth, that's something once again not getting talked about enough. The depth of the offensive line is the best it's been. Trent Scott, Nate Erbig. Still don't like Michael Dieter. Hate to say it, but I'm just going to be honest. I don't like him as our center depth. I think Wiley, Coleman, obviously are going to compete for like that right guard spot, and then whoever loses that is depth. Then Tim McKay, I like him a lot too. So you have really good depth across the board. And then once Cosme comes back, you could probably move Coleman or Wiley to left guard, whatever, and then they're still your depth guys. So you have a lot of depth, a lot of opportunities there still. I mean, Tyler Biotis is damn good. I think this is the best our offensive line's been in a long time. Laramie Tunzel is going to be great. Josh Connolly Jr. does have some welcome to the NFL moments. Obviously, he has Abdul Carter week 1. Max Crosby early. He's got some tough guys out the gate. So we'll see. But I like Josh Connolly Jr. a lot. I think he's going to be awesome. Let's see. That's why I'm saying don't sign an edge and let JJB prove himself. I remember he went against Mims, and that was their first pick of the round. He destroyed Mims and sacked Joe Burrow. Yeah, I like him too. Is that a college jersey for Snot? Yep, that's Kansas State jersey for my guy Ben. Ben's my guy. I told him at the Senior Bowl we were going to draft him, and then he DM'd me like a few minutes after we drafted him. So we've been cool ever since. And I bought the jersey from the Kansas State athletics team and took it to training camp last year and got him to sign it. But yeah, Ben's my guy. I got like a dope card I pulled the other day too for Ben. I was thinking about getting it graded and giving it to him. Mims had a baptism by fire. Yeah, he was rough. Mims did not look good. Jaden's going to have 50 touchdowns this year between passing and rushing. I'm with it. I think it's possible, especially the offensive line's better. Your weapons got better. I mean, your starting wide receivers are sick. Terry, Debo, and Jalen Lane. Jalen Lane's going to be so good, man. I'm so tired of people saying Debo's fat. Yeah, he's not fat at all. He never was, honestly. He was never overweight. Like, if anything, very slightly overweight, but it was nothing like crazy. Jane Daniels, like Spencer James, lights out. I wouldn't be surprised if 4 of the 5 guys we drafted started at some point this season and not just because of injuries. Yeah, so looking at your main rookies, Josh Connolly Jr., I think he starts at right tackle. Jalen Lane, I think he starts in the slot. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, I think he plays a good bit. And then I think Trey Amos starts on the outside. I think Cam Madrino is a special team starter, if that counts. And then I think he could rotate into passing packages on defense. So I think he plays a good bit. So I think they all contribute right away, which is why they were fine with not trading back and not getting more picks. They wanted quality over quantity, and I think they hit a home run. Logan with a good question. What do you think about the new offensive line award? Long overdue. I think it's definitely long overdue. Shout out to the big guys. We'll see if Laramie Tunzel can win the award and Josh Connolly Jr. can get it in the future. But yeah, I mean, this is way overdue. I think they should send Trent Williams like 10 just to make up for lost times. Deion Dawkins, Lane obviously needs a bunch. Kelsey too. I mean, there's so many good offensive linemen in the past like few years, and even now, there's a lot of really good offensive linemen, and we got one, and possibly more than that. I do want to see what Laramie Tunzel looks like this year. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be dope. If Tyler Owens and Kane can turn into legit players, Washington's defense can be improved. Speed is big. We have lacked speed so many times. That's why I don't like Percy Butler as much, because I think he lacks a lot of speed. Their speed would make a huge impact for sure. Definitely agree, Logan. Yep, we needed that for sure. We needed the Hawks to protect the commander. I'm with it. Let me get some awards over here in Washington. Would love to see Tunzel win a couple. Do you think Tunzel's looking for a contract extension? I don't think so. Going back to like his interview that he did with the media, I think he kind of knew what he was kind of getting into, and he pretty much said like, if it comes to it, cool. But he wasn't like, oh, I'm not going to show up at camp if I don't get a new deal. Because, I mean, he has 2 more years left. So it's not like this is the last year. If that was the case, I think it's a different story. But I mean, he's getting paid a good bit this year. Obviously, it could be more. But I think for him, it's just like, new team. You have to kind of prove yourself to the locker room. You're the new guy. Obviously, we know who you are. We know how good you are. But I don't think he's holding out on it. He's going to be at OTAs. Like, I'm not concerned about it at all. I'd be shocked if he wasn't at practice. John said, how many games are you showing up to now that you're in the DMV? All of them, John. And shout out to Kane, by the way. Yeah, I'm gonna be at all of them. I'm seriously thinking about going to Spain too. I've been hitting up a bunch of my boys. Shout out to my guy John Reynolds, works for like the PGA Tour. He's trying to get me. He's a huge Washington fan, goes to a lot of games. Talking to me about going to Spain. Never been to Spain. I haven't been out of the country in a few years because I've been so busy. I went to Guatemala a few years back, but I like to go to Spain. I'd like to go. I'd like to go to LA too. LA is a different world, man. LA is a different planet. I went there and I covered the Rose Bowl. We stayed in LA, like right outside LA, and obviously the Rose Bowl's in Pasadena, like not far away from LA. But LA is just different, man. I almost went to the Chargers game. I think they had a home game because a bunch of the Penn State players went to it. But I didn't go. So I haven't been to that stadium before. Like, I've seen it. I saw what it looked like. LA is a different place. The food's different. Like, the food tastes weird. I don't know, weird. Like, I didn't like In-N-Out. I thought In-N-Out sucked. I went to the Hollywood sign though. That was dope. Saw the Hollywood sign. Drove down Hollywood. Went to the USC field in their campus. Awesome. UCLA up in like Beverly Hills. Awesome. So yeah, I am dying to go back. Don't have the need to go to Atlanta. I've been there way too many times. Don't get anything out of the Atlanta trips anymore. But yeah, Spain, and I'd say LA is top of my list. Green Bay doesn't excite me. Minnesota later in the season doesn't excite me. I'm trying to remember where else we go besides like the NFC East. I think it's the 2 away games I'm really looking at. But home games, yeah, I'm about to be at a lot of them, if not all of them. Yeah, I have seen a few content creators and just people. Once again, y'all have to kind of, and y'all know me, and I never have been and never will be the clickbaity type of person when it comes to the articles I write or the videos I do. Now, will I talk about things that are relevant? Sure. So like the Jalen Ramsey thing. That came up as a rumor that Jeremy Fowler said. The one issue that I have is the channels like the Chat Sports, like Washington dude, where it's like a Steelers fan talking about, and like no shade at him. He's damn good. I love what he does. And I think he's great. But like the clickbaity, like Washington's going to trade for Tyreek Hill, or Washington, like breaking rumor, like that's not me. That is not me. So, if everything goes well Wednesday and I get this opportunity, which I feel like I will, I feel good about it, I will talk, and this is just how I've been, and this is how I'll continue to be. It doesn't matter like what platform I have, Bleacher Report, USA Today, or this other company that's offering me like a possible full-time salary job as a beat reporter. But I come from things as a fan perspective, as an, informative, perspective. But then also I see both sides of things. I'm not the kind of guy, even though I say my opinion's one thing, unless it's just completely outlandish, like not paying Terry McLaurin, then I will say something. But if I'm like, oh yeah, Jordan McGee's going to have a great year this year, and someone's like, I don't think so, I'm not like, oh my God, you're so stupid, you're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about. That's not me. I'm like, why do you think that? Let's actually talk about it. Like, y'all know me. That's just how I am. So I'm not going to just throw out, oh, wouldn't surprise me if, Laramie Tunsil doesn't show up to practice because Adam Peters is dragging his feet on contracts. That's not me, and that'll never be me. Like I say, I give my opinion and I talk about things. But I think right now is the part of the off season. There's not much going on. So people are just fishing. What can we talk about? Tyreek Hill. Is he going to get traded for the 20th time? Jalen Ramsey, which had real rumors to it with Fowler. So, like, I'm cool with that. Like, oh, Terry McLaurin's holding out. Larry Matanzo's holding out. I'm not buying that shit. I need this defense to rank in top 15. DQ has never had a top 15 defense as a head coach, which is surprising. That's surprising to me, honestly. Lat was better when he stayed on one side of the field rather than traveling. The Amos pick allows us to not force Lat to travel and also put Mike back in the slot. They're going to be good. They're going to be really good. How do you feel about Dominique Hampton? I don't know. Just that transition to linebacker. I will say the one thing that stuck out to me the most was how much Bobby Wagner was like at his hip, like just coaching him up, mentoring him, gave him the ball from the Tampa Bay game. Like if y'all watch his mic'd up video, when he got the fumble, he gave it to Dom Hampton. Like I love that. And that's what I love about Bobby Wagner. He's just such a football guy, but he's such a people person. He just loves his teammates and he just wants to like give to the future of the league. So, not sure what to expect with Dom Hampton, but I'm also not like, oh, he's a bust. He's transitioning from safety to linebacker, and he didn't do anything in his first year. He's a bust. Once again, I'm not that kind of guy. I saw it brought up on Street Scores. Doesn't seem newsworthy to me. I like Rico, though. Rico's really good. All those guys. Rico, Mangati. I know I'm missing a bunch. There's a lot that I like. There's a lot I don't like, too. But there's a lot that I do like. I like Street Scores. But I promise you, he probably wasn't coming at it in the way of like, oh, my camera. He probably, let me fix this. So I get for moving. There we go. He probably wasn't coming up at it like, oh my God, Larry Tunsil's not going to be at practice, breaking news or anything like that. Like, it's probably like, does he want a contract? That is a good question. Does he want a new contract? I think that's kind of just talked about in his like introductory thing, with his press conference when he got traded. He either just wanted to see his tag. Yes, Gabe. Size is a huge question mark. JG for sure. Only 28 likes, over 100 in the chat. Smash that like button. Appreciate y'all. Smash that like button. Make sure you're subbed up. I'm not worried about Josh Connolly. We can have John Bates double over on the right side, which makes a big difference for sure. You're right. Forgot about the possibility of Kane starting on special teams. I'm behind in the chat by a couple minutes. Sorry. Up with the super chat. Appreciate it. Yeah. How do I feel about Dom Hampton? So saw your first one. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, I think there is, he's like linebacker 5 right now. I guess Nick Bellore technically is, but Nick Bellore is old, dude. He's like 38. He's mostly your special teams guy. But I think Dom Hampton, he's going through that transition from safety to linebacker. So I think it's just going to take some time. But I think he was a much more natural like box safety. And I think that transition to linebacker is possible. But once again, I'm not ruling him out and saying like, oh, he's a bad pick in the 7th round. Because I liked a lot of his play. I liked his physical style play when he was at Washington. Just going back on it. Appreciate it, Michael. Thanks for saying about the chat sports guy. I don't know. It just seems like a game show. I don't know what's going on when I've seen those few videos. LA visit, bring your blanket and pillow. Boring. Yeah, LA is, like I said, you can see some of the cool stuff. But there's not much going on outside of that. You're the most responsive host to your listeners by far. I'm sure everyone appreciates it. Appreciate that. I try to be. I know I go on these long rants and I get behind on chats, but I try to get to every single one, especially on this video. That's why I do these live streams. That's why I'm going to be more consistent now I'm back. This is what this is what I like doing. I like hearing about y'all. I don't want to just talk to myself. That's like the egotistical people. Yeah, shout out to Ed and Louis T as well. And shout out to, gosh, why am I blanking on them? Todd, Tay and Todd. They're cool dudes too. There's a lot of good. Hell, me and Rio go back to like Richmond training camp days. Me and Rio have been doing videos for a long time, since like 2019, 2020. And just met a lot of cool people, a lot of cool content creators. If Bobby sees something in Hampton that's good enough for me, pretty much. Yeah, Street Scores is very professional when it comes to this stuff. He's not a clickbait type. He just asking the questions. We all have his fans for sure. Yeah, I love Street Scores. He's a cool dude. Those are the guys I like once again. is those guys that are like, you know, actually talking about stuff in a way that earns respect. Like that's what I want to be. I want to be a respectable person. You'll never see me complain about the NFL schedule. You'll never see me complain about having to go cover a team on Christmas. That's the stupidest fucking thing I saw this offseason. You'll never see me clickbait stuff. I mean, sometimes I might put in a title that just grabs the YouTube algorithm, but it won't be like Jaden Daniels sophomore slump. Very possible. Like it will never be something stupid like that. But if you've been here, you know me. If not, hit the subscription button or subscribe and hit the thumbs up button and get to know me. Things are going to change, though, in a very good way. I promise y'all. Don't forget Nathan Stoner and Trev. Love RTD for sure. Love them. They show me a lot of love. Had me on their channel before. Good guys. Met all of them. They're all really good guys. Hoping for a breakout season for Jean-Baptiste. Jay, I'm going to get to yours here in a second, too. I'm going to talk to y'all about some stuff I got coming up. But so, yeah. Once again, I just moved back to Virginia. Like I said, the last 2 or 3 weeks, I just got all my stuff like 4 or 5 days ago, like my moving trailer showed up. So, now that I'm settled in, you're going to see a lot of me. You're going to see a lot of me back here on the channel. So don't think this is just a once a week thing. I'm going to be back all the time. I'm going to talk about my favorite breakout players that I'm watching for, especially with OTAs coming up. Like I said, it's not just like preseason, it's not like just players during the season. Like who the hell is going to show up during the off season? Who's gonna be the person that says, I want to take the most of this opportunity? I want to step up and be the guy that says, like, this is why we didn't draft an edge. This is why we didn't sign an edge, because I'm here. I think Javonte Jean-Baptiste is one of those guys for sure. So I'll talk about that. Jay said, when are you getting an early 53-man projection from you? I can throw that in there too. I'll write it down in my notes. So just to show y'all, this is literally all of the article and video ideas. Anytime I think of something, I type it in my phone. The shower, the gym, eating Texas Roadhouse, it doesn't matter. If y'all like have an idea of something y'all want to see, just tell me and I write it down. Like I'm not the guy that's like, oh, that's a stupid idea, or like that's not in my agenda. So 53 early man projection. Boom. Currently in my notes. Appreciate it. So, and I'll be doing a lot more articles with this opportunity coming up Wednesday, and a lot more video content too. I'll talk more about some stuff after. We'll see how it goes, which I feel good about it. But something with the YouTube channel too, but I think I've decided something about that. But yeah, so I got that in my notes too. Just make sure you're subscribed, because like I said, there's going to be a lot coming up. That's all I'm going to say. Shop with Charles, with another successful season from Cliff, he would possibly leave. Who do you see being promoted to OC? I like Pritchett. I don't know if I'm hiring, like maybe Johnson. Maybe Johnson gets a run at just because he's got the experience. I know Eagles fans like hated Brian Johnson, but I mean, it looked good to me last year, so we'll see. I think they could definitely hire within if that's the case, but I don't want to think about it right now, Charles. I want to enjoy this. I want to enjoy this. This time we got with Cliff, another season. That's why I'm so high. That's why I think what was it? The MVP odds for Jaden Daniels like plus 850. I'm buying that stock because of the offensive line getting better, because of getting Debo, because of getting Jalen Lane. Everyone's talking about sophomore slump. Who says Jaden isn't going to be better next year? Who says Jaden's not going to be better next year? Who says 4,500 passing? Well, let's not go that. 4,200 passing yards and just over 1,000 rushing yards, 50 total touchdowns. Who says it's not possible? Who says? That wins MVP. That wins MVP. So I'm just saying, man, everyone's talking about sophomore slump this, sophomore slump that. The reason why CJ Stroud had a sophomore slump, which I really don't think it was that bad, that offensive line was god awful. That offensive line was so bad. Joe Mixon was one of the most hit behind the line of scrimmage running backs in the entire league last year. So I don't think it comes down to, the league figured CJ Stroud out. No, the league just was able to get to CJ Stroud so much easier because his offensive line sucked. And we saw that and we said, all right, we're going to go get Larry Tunzel. We're going to get Josh Connolly Jr. We're going to do the opposite of what they did. So I just don't see it happening, man. And I don't see Cliff leaving after this year too, because I think he does have a really good situation here. Who says he doesn't just stay here for a long time as the offensive coordinator and just take over for, Dan Quinn when he gets done? I mean, I know Dan Quinn's not that old, but I'm just saying, you just never know. The last thing I'd want to do is leave a really good, God, just think about all the positive things coming to this team right now. This is the time to be here. Even like Lance Newmark, he had opportunities to leave. He's like, it just didn't feel like it's my time to go. I love working with AP. I'm learning a lot from AP. AP said he's learning a lot from Lance Newmark too. He's like, it just wasn't time for me to go. In total, Washington has a lot of good content people who are good at, who each add something different for sure. And that's why I love so much. Rio, I can watch him all day. I can't say that about everybody, but Rio, in my opinion, is the most entertaining, and he comes from such a fan perspective. And I think he's the best at what he does. I think Louis T, in my opinion, is the top overall guy. Because I love he's entertaining too. I love his production. I love the effort he puts into stuff. Him and Rio are the two guys that even before, hell, I just started a random podcast back in 2018 after a training camp practice and, interviewed a couple players and stuff like that. But even now, if I'm man, I want to get better at this, I want to learn more of that. I want to I always want to get better. So if I could see what Rio does, that's why I have him love. I love having Rio in the channel. We're a really good duo too. We feed off each other. But I watch Louis T stuff. I watch Rio stuff all the time because they each add something different. They add stuff that I don't have, but then also I have my scouting background. I have some stuff that they might not have. That doesn't make me better than them at by any means. I still think Rio and Louis T are better than me. I'm humble enough to say that. But I think they have stuff I don't have that I need to get better at. And I have stuff that they don't have possibly. And I think that's what, I tell people all the time, go watch other people too. You don't have to watch just me. I love y'all being here and I love y'all in the chat, but we have some really good people. We got some weirdos too. Trust me. We got some weirdos all over the place. But we got some really good ones too. Shout out James going on. Josh, really good dude, man. Appreciate that. I try to, and I have people DM me all the time, on Instagram or Twitter and stuff like that, asking me questions and stuff. I don't mind that at all. That's something I am trying to get better at, DMs. I'm so bad at it because I do get some weirdos. I got people that ask me for money. I got the sex bots. I'm always added to those part-time hotel job conversations. God, I have 40 unread Instagram messages and probably in the mid-100 Twitter DMs. But I genuinely love when people ask me yo, Josh, I want to start a podcast. I want to start a YouTube channel. How do I start? What's my guide? Yo, Abdullah, shout out to my guy, Abdullah, photography guy. He wants to start a YouTube channel. Me and him talked for an hour and a half the other day when I was out for a jog in Fredericksburg. And I love that. I do not mind. There is enough bread for everybody out here. But I will say, I am picky with who I talk to. I won't do it for people I'm just I don't have a good feeling about this guy. But if anybody ever has any questions, hell, I might do a whole Zoom call one day with people because I have so many people ask me questions and feedback, what do you think? Is it worth doing? What did you what mistakes did you learn from that I could avoid? I might do that one day. I don't mind like talking to people about this because like I am passionate about it. But there's enough for everybody here. I know a lot of people be like, oh hell no, like that's my competition. I don't look at it like that at all. Michael said you're probably my favorite draft guy. I'm a snot guy because of your video. Appreciate it. He's gonna take that next step for sure this year. Yeah, you just gotta get the opportunities. Like I said, if it's not this year, then it'll definitely be next. When Zach Ertz is gone. But yeah, shout out to Ben. And the draft is my first love. Will always be my first love. What's going on here? Titus Jones. I don't know if you talked about this, but Jeremy Fowler keeps saying Jalen Ramsey to the Commanders, Cowboys, and Rams. In my opinion, it goes Rams, Cowboys, because I still don't feel good about Trayvon Diggs. I think his legs are still terrible. But then it's like Commanders. To be honest, I was surprised to see him list Washington. I'd say Rams is like 80% chance. I'd say Cowboys 15 and then Washington 5. I just don't see it. Yeah, I was surprised to see him list us. But I just don't see it happening. A lot of wannabe podcasters jumping onto the Commanders bandwagon. The 6 or 8 I routinely listen to is enough. Yeah, that's good. That's a good point too. Like now that the team's good, and I told this to Abdullah too. A lot of my success for the last year or two has come because of how good the team was last year. Fans are so much more bought in, but then also it just tells you like how good our fan base is. We have a huge fan base. So, I mean, I definitely have seen an increase of like podcasters and stuff like that, but a lot of them are just like fan made, like fan podcasts. That's fine with me. But, like me personally, I don't have the time to just do like a fan podcast, like for free, just because I'm passionate about it. I'm sure if I, had a full-time job like I did before and I wasn't trying to get into sports or whatever, like I wasn't trying to have this as like a full-time job, then yeah, it'd be tempting, but like, I don't know, I can't do it. Like I'm too passionate about it to not go all in. I don't think Cliff is leaving unless there's a great situation out there, which I really don't see one better than us for a while. When the Dolphins let McDaniels go, I say bring him in as offensive staff for Cliff. That'd be sick. Definitely see his numbers being better this year due to him playing all the games and better receivers no line. Talk about Jaden for sure. Should play every game this year. He better. CJ Stroud has slump, but redeemed himself in the playoffs. He needs better offensive line and wide receivers that can stay healthy. That's another problem too. It was not his fault, I promise you. JT, what's your favorite games you're looking forward to this season? Hot take, the Christmas game is high on my list. I'm excited for that. I just like nostalgic games. Washington, Dallas, Christmas, Netflix, Jaden Daniels. It's beautiful to me. Definitely can't wait to see the Chiefs game. It's in Kansas City. It's like the Bengals game last year on crack with like voodoo magic added because crazy things just happened at Arrowhead. And of course, Patrick Mahomes, like it's just one of the faces of the league, like with the Chiefs, obviously, the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce fans. And definitely looking forward to that one too. That 4-game stretch at the end of the season where it's New York, Philly, Dallas, Philly. That's going to be crazy. Then definitely a Spain game if I end up going. If not, it's going to be cool to like wake up early, get like Hardy's breakfast or something to watch it. But I'm definitely thinking about going. I'd say top 3, Christmas game, Spain game if I go, Chiefs, and the Packers game too. That's just such a matchup game. The Chargers game is a matchup game too. I think that's a trap game for us. I think stylistically the Chargers match up bad for Washington. Because I think the Chargers defense is just Coach Minter's a beast. I think he drastically improved that defense. But then Harbaugh's just going to want to run the ball at us, grind it down. It's going to be like a 20-14, 20-17 game. I think the Chargers win that one. So I think the Packers one too is just one of those like intriguing games. You're like, man, that could be a really good game. Jordan Love, Matthew Golden's added. Their defense, Xavier McKinney, that's my boy. Shout out to X. That defensive line is no joke too. Adrian Cooper, that was my guy coming out of the draft. They just got a lot of good players. So I like our schedule. Like, it is tough. Obviously playing, in the NFC East. But man, it's just so crazy to see that the NFL loves Washington so much this year, which is good. James said, can't wait for that. Us versus the Chiefs for sure. When JD5 was at his worst last year, when he had too much time in the pocket, that's why I worry OL might be too good. There's no such thing as too good. No such thing as too good. I think Jaden's going to be fine back there. Can't wait. Yeah, can't wait for us versus the Chiefs. No slump for 5. We're doing it different here for sure. Looking forward to viewing our in-season show on HBO. Yeah, that's going to be fun. And I know I think it debuts in like December. So we'll get to see like the early part of the season in like December. But then as the show goes on, because I mean, like I said, the last 4 games of the season for us are NFC East games. So I think that the end of Hard Knocks ending with that part of the season is going to be fun. But yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. Louis T, I'm going to wrap this up here in a minute. I'm going to get through all these chats though. Louis T is also a great host. Y'all have different things to offer. Shout out. All of y'all love watching content. Shout out to Bleeding BNG as well. Yeah, shout out Jaden. Jaden's cool as well. Hang out with him and Rio a bunch. Everyone just has their own thing. So here's my guy. This is my guy, Dollar Vision. Up and coming. Took the sports world by storm last year. Best photographer in the business. Him and Serge, my favorites. Got some fire coming up this year. I can't wait to see what my guy Abdullah does. Definitely linking up this year. We'll link up at games off the field too, for sure. After drafting Amos, I don't see it unless they're getting a good deal for Ramsey. Talking about Jalen. Yeah, I don't know. Someone on Twitter, no names, they have a lot of hot takes, said that he does not like Trey Amos and thinks they should go after Ramsey, which is crazy. You and Rico from Street Scores probably have some of the best draft coverage on YouTube. Also, Rio's probably one of the best watching content creators out there for sure. Respect to both of them. I think Snot will be better. Learning from Ertz will help him. Also, tight end's one of the hard positions to translate to from college and NFL. Bowers and Laporta rookie seasons are anomalies for sure. Oh, yeah. But then also, I mean, look at what Ben was doing in college. Lined up at the slot, in line, H-back, fullback, everything. Like, Ben was doing it all. He wasn't just like all right, I'm at tight end again. All right, I'm going to block. I'm going to catch this play. He was doing everything. So, yeah, I can't wait to see him, get more developed and get those opportunities. But he had some huge blocks last year. It's a couple big plays. Even the Austin Eckler touchdown against the Bengals. He was laid a dude out, created the way for that. Love your channel. We're truly in a new area because of JD5 and thinking about YouTube myself. Winning is everything for sure, man. I just tell people, like, if you are passionate about it, find your avenue. Just like Abdullah. Like I said, photography, best in the game. Him and Serge, top 2, and it's not close. Find what you're good at, whether it's graphics, whether it's YouTube, whether it's film breakdown, draft stuff, just entertainment. I mean, there's a bunch of dudes too. They do like TikToks and videos. I'm blanking on names right now, but there's a bunch that we haven't. Like, I'm just like, I could never do that. And they're really good at what they do. So I just tell people, like, find what you are passionate about, find your avenue, and then just go for it. Never force yourself like, oh, well, these people do this, so I have to do that. Never do that. You will set yourself up to fail. You will hate doing this. It'll feel more like a job and a like check mark, like, oh, I made a video today. Oh, I got to do it again tomorrow. Never, ever, ever, ever do that. Just find what you're good at, find your avenue, and just hit it for sure. Do you think the defense has improved over the offseason? Yes and no. I think, yes, they improved when you talk about guys developing more. That's already been here. I think Dietrich Wise is an improvement over what we had, especially when it comes to stopping the run. Like I said, the sack numbers might not be there like what Fowler was, but run stopping wise, Dietrich Wise will stop the run and set the edge, get off blocks better than Fowler did. I feel good about Javon Kinlaw. I think he's juiced up. I can't wait to see what he does. I have high hopes for him. Will Harris, I'm intrigued with. I'm right in the middle. I'm not like super, super high on him, but I'm not low on him at all. Like I have to see more of him. But the limited snaps I did see, I like his versatility though. Like I like how he's not just a safety. He played corner in New Orleans. He did a lot of different things. So I'm not low on him. I'm not like high on him. I'm neutral on Will Harris. I like the signing, but I want to see for myself. Yeah, Trey Amos, absolute stud. I might get his jersey. Jonathan Jones, I think that's a sneaky one. Like I said, the UDFAs, there's a bunch of guys that might make some noise with Robert McDaniel, Carlin Vigors, Finchel Cypress, Cam Arnold, Ricky Barber. It's another one of these D tackle UDFA that can make some noise. Why are you high on Javonte Jean-Baptiste? For me, it was just seeing, like, circling those limited snaps he had. Like, it was tackle for loss. It was just like the technique, getting off his blocks. I just saw positive things from him in a limited role. So now going into the second season, and like I said, I'm gonna talk about like breakout videos. I'll talk about like second year guys and stuff like that. For me, it's just I want to see what more he can do. There's more opportunity this year for him. I think he'll be the backup guy for sure. I can't wait to go to the Christmas game. I can't wait. Like, I'll gladly go. Ideally, the KC and Commanders game will be the changing of the guard. Let's hope so. LSU quarterbacks are different. Please stop saying CJ had a slump in the second year. I didn't. I said people have said that. And I don't think it was him at all. I think it was his offensive line. So I don't think he had a slump at all. I think people are saying, oh, CJ had a slump. He didn't. His offensive line is just like the worst in the league. Smash that like button before you leave. Thanks, Josh, for the stream. Appreciate it. Yeah, make sure y'all subscribe because, like I said, got a lot of stuff popping up here soon. I will share with more about that later on this week. Rockhouse says you have a good balance of your content compared to some other content creators that do the trolling to get noticed. Yeah, I don't want to be noticed. I don't ever want to be famous. I just want to be successful and be the best at what I do. Also the second best prospect. Ooh, I like that. I just needs to do better than the tight end Houston drafted the same year, drawing a blank on his name, but he was my pick. God, who was it? No, not Arroyo. He was this year. I'm drawing a blank on it too. I'm gonna be pissed when I look it up and I realize it. CJ Troback. Oh, back-to-back winning season and playoff wins with no number one wide receiver. I don't know what Tank D looks like. Do you? Tank D is not gonna be good. That leg's cooked. Nico's got to play a whole season, but yeah, that offensive line was a travesty for CJ Stroud. That's why I'm happy that Adam Peters was aggressive and went and got Laramie Tunzel and got Josh Connolly Jr. Like, build the offensive line. If there's one thing we learned from CJ Stroud last year, it's not that CJ Stroud's bad. That is not at all. I think he's still a really good quarterback. I don't think he had a bad season. I think his offense let him down. Tank Dell's leg is cooked. Obviously with Diggs being out and then just a bad offensive line. I actually scouted either 3 or 4. I think it was 3 Texans games last year. And I was just astonished at how bad that offensive line was. So bad. And like I said, Joe Mixon felt it too. He was hit behind the line of scrimmage at a very high rate. And that affects so much. That affects your throws. It affects the timing. I mean, CJ just had people in his face all day long. Yes, Cade Stover. Yes. For some reason, I was like, Eric Arroyo. No. Jeremy Ruckert. Like, no, he went to the Jets. I just cannot. I just kept thinking about their starter. Off topic, but what's your end goal to making content? Do you want to end up in the mainstream media at some point? I think you could do it, by the way. Yeah, so Wednesday, I have my third and last interview with a big company to be a full-time salary, beat reporter covering the Washington Commanders for them. And just got to meet with the CEO and hope that goes well, which I think it will. Manifesting it. And I mean, that's the main reason I moved back here. Like, one, with the team and all the stuff going on, it was time for me to come back, really hit this home. It's hard to, It's hard to do it in Austin, Texas, and flying over here so much. I mean, I flew here like 8 times last year. Flew to Tampa last year. Like I was traveling so much. I was like, I just got to get back, go to practices. I flew back here for training camp. So yeah, Wednesday is big time opportunity. That's always been my end goal. Like I love doing this for fun, but I've quit really good jobs to go after this. Working in the auto industry, I was a senior manager at CarMax, just being transparent, like 85K a year in my mid to late 20s. Quit it because it just I don't care. Like it just wasn't me. Very stressful, working a ton, working like 50, 60 hours a week. And I worked at Audi in Austin, really big place, making really good money, moving up fast. Quit it. Because I was like, I need to go full in with sports. And then obviously last year, getting an opportunity to be a scout for, for the college football season and also do some NFL stuff. That was huge for me. So that's why I left the Audi job, because I got the opportunity to do some scouting work, and partner with colleges and partner with NFL teams. And, this was Sports Info Solution, SIS. Really good company. Really good. It was stressful to start, but it was a lot of fun. So I'll tell people like all the time, like if you get opportunities, man, you have to take them. Like I've done the Scouting Academy twice, almost like finished that all the way out. But once I got the opportunity, whether it's like PFF, and shout out to Mason Kinahan, love Mason, really good dude. Like he did stuff for PFF last year, and I was doing stuff for SIS last year. Like awesome time. And they're actually hiring right now. So like if you want to get into like SIS, like you're not going to make a shit ton of money. You're not going to make a lot of money because that's just sports. But definitely a good opportunity. So if you want to learn to scout and you do like really good training, oh my God, we trained for like 3 months before college football season started. But super stressful. And yeah. It was worth it. So that's when I quit at Audi. I was like, sorry, y'all. I know I make a lot of money here. Everyone is making a lot of money there. I mean, they were just handing out like $100 bills to everybody. Like there'd be days I'm just like working outside, and literally my boss would be like, hey, here's $100. I'm like, cool, thanks. I'm not going to question anything. But I'm too passionate about this. This is just my life. I could work at Audi for the rest of my life. Yeah, I could have worked for CarMax for a long time. Had a 401k built up there, stocks, everything. I was just like, this ain't it, man. This is just not me. I just wasn't mentally happy. So that's why I'm saying like Wednesday is the biggest day of my life. Because if I could do this full time, dude, I'm gonna cry. Like it's a huge opportunity. So, but it's all in due time. Been at this for a little while now, and I'm super excited. That's why I moved back here. So appreciate it. But I know a lot of people do it for fun, but I got too much in me just to do it for fun. So I got too much passion in me. But praying for Wednesday. And but in the meantime, like I love working for Bleacher Report. I love doing their video content, and then also writing for the USA Today right now. I'm not doing like 5 articles a day or anything like that, but I do like 1 or 2 a day. It's been busy the last like week, so I've only done like 2. But it's been great. So if you want to get into writing, reach out to like those kind of people. Rigo's Rag, Hogs Haven, Commander's Wire has been awesome. Commander's Wire has probably been my favorite. I love Brian, the guy that's like the editor. He's awesome. But yeah, if I don't get this job, I'm going to just keep hitting this like YouTube hard, because this has been growing so much, and like the revenue we've been able to bring in. I say we, like not because it's not just me, it's y'all too. Like that we've been able to do on the channel of like the last few months, free agency, blow it out the water, draft, blow it out the water. So I feel like this season's going to be just crazy. So, I mean, I even had the opportunity to like sell the YouTube channel to this other company, but I don't know if I'll do that. Still thinking about it, but I don't think I will. Like I'll still run it. Like selling it's just like the rights. But we'll see. We'll see how talks go Wednesday. But I'm just being transparent with y'all. Like, I probably should not be telling y'all all this, but I'm just transparent. I'm an open book. Like I'm a man of the people. I'm here for y'all. This is not just me. This isn't like a come listen to me talk. come listen to my thoughts because I'm right and I'm better than y'all. Like, I feel like John Bernthal, like when he was Shane, when I was doing that. But yeah, that's not me. So, yep. I mean, that's the goal, Jay. We'll see how Wednesday goes. If not, I'm going to keep writing for USA Today, which I love doing. And I'm going to keep doing Bleacher Reports content, which I love doing. And I'm going to keep hitting the YouTube channel. But we'll see. We'll see. Yes, Kate Silver. Completely forgot about him. Jadeveon got enough left in to bring in for like 10 mil. It ain't my money, so I say sure. Appreciate it, Mill. Good luck, Josh. Thank you. Thank you. That's tough. Praying for you. Thanks, Jay. Praying for your success in the new job. That'd be dope. Charles, appreciate it, man. Let me know when you're here in Virginia. Frost, don't worry, you're going to get it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Good luck, said JG. I feel good. Let me know if you still have the hookups at Audi. I have the hookups at Audi in Austin. So if you want to buy a car in Austin, let me know. Audi South Austin, hit up my boy JB. John Bauer. Let me know if you're ever going to be in town. I'll tell him. And I'll call the managers there and try to get y'all a deal. They all love me. So some of them hated me, but by the time I left, they were all pissed I was leaving. So the managers love me at Audi. So if you need a car and you're in Austin, or if you're a Texas football player, let me know. And hopefully I can get a cut from my buddies. Thank you so much for your time, JT. Appreciate it. Thanks, Logan. Like I said, y'all, I'm gonna be on here a lot more for sure. My neighbor works for Audi. So I'll say this. I don't know how, because like every dealership's like owned by a different person. I work for Hendrick Motorsports. Great company. One of the best companies I ever worked for. Hendrick, anything Hendrick, whether you're a NASCAR driver or you're working on the cars or you're working in like Audi or Chevy, because they do everything. It's not just, only thing they don't do is Ford, because they're a Chevy company, obviously. But Hendrick, if you're looking for a job and you like cars, you want to get in the car industry, Hendrick is a fantastic place to work, especially on the East Coast. There's a ton. Appreciate you, man. Like I said, hit me up sometime. I'm going to come up there to like the Alexandria area. We're going to do something sometime. It's already written. I do believe that for sure. Appreciate it, Jay. I'm not sure Carfax will last the rest of your life. I'm surprised they're still in business. Are you talking about CarMax? I don't know, man. CarMax, I'm just saying, they are booming. It's a Virginia-based company, but man, I mean, every year that I was with them for like 8 years. I mean, the numbers just kept going up. Like, they're growing like crazy. How much do you think the Washington, D.C. sports market can grow with success from the Commanders? A ton. I mean, look at the draft in 2 years. You thought I was going to miss the draft coming to D.C.? Hell no. I will be the first one there. I will sleep outside. I will sleep on the stage if I have to. Ton. I mean, especially the stadium, like the momentum right now. I don't think any professional sports team has had this much of a run, like in my lifetime. Name another sports team that had this kind of, just a run, like going from one of the worst teams in the league for so long, to the NFC Championship game, new owner, new franchise quarterback, the draft finally coming to DC in 2 years, possibly the best stadium in the NFL by 2030. This is, if I had to compare, this is like a LeBron run. This is like a Michael Jordan run. This is the GOAT of like sports success, like of any team in any sport, not just the NFL. This is a top tier. You think I was going to miss out on this? Guys, we have bleachers at training camp now. You thought I was going to miss out on this? I was out of that concrete jungle in Richmond. I was used to standing up in the 100-degree heat getting sunburned. He's sitting down now, y'all. Like, you thought I was going to miss out on this. Come on. Good luck on Wednesday, my boy. Appreciate you. And I will say this, like, I haven't been on here in a long time, so I appreciate everyone that came through on the chat. Now that I'm finally like settled in and everything, got everything set up. Y'all have no idea how much shit I have set up too. 3 different lights, phantom power, mic box, about 10 cords over there. Got the internet hooked up like 2 weeks ago. It still sucks because I'm out in like the middle of nowhere. It took so much to get all this stuff set up. So I appreciate everyone like being patient and Just, being consistent. Like I said, I haven't gone live since I've been here. This is the first time I've been live since I moved back to Virginia. So I appreciate y'all. But y'all are going to see me a lot more often. So appreciate you, Rock. Go live Wednesday and celebrate. Definitely will. If they, and I feel like if I get it Wednesday, I'm going to know. Like, we're going to talk numbers. We're going to talk everything. Because they're trying to buy me out. They're trying to buy me out and the YouTube channel, which, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to sell the YouTube channel to them because this is my baby. We'll see. But like I said, don't worry. Like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to run the channel just for them. And it's going to be like a rebrand, but we'll see. Terry, sorry about the typo earlier. Washington fan for life. B-Rob, power runs, and Bill speed for sure. I think they can be a good duo too. Like, I'm not rolling out B-Rob like at all, but I'm also not saying we don't need J.K. Dobbins, if that makes sense. If the opportunity comes, if we're at training camp and B-Rob's just like, or he has more of these leg injuries like he did last year, I'm like, J.K. young, ton of explosive runs last year, super productive. I mean, after his injury, he looked great. I was surprised at how good J.K. Dobbins was last year. But I'm just saying, man. I like Ja'Cory a lot. All right, I'm about to end this here in a second. I'm going to get to these last chats. Who are you looking most forward to seeing in the preseason? I'm going to pick 3. I will say I'm tempted to go to New England too, especially if that's like our joint practices. I'm going to go to the joint practices and I'm going to go to the preseason game. If I get this job, I'm going to be at the practices. I'm going to be at everything. I am looking forward to, I'll pick rookie Trey Amos just because I love Trey Amos. He was like one of my favorite guys to talk to at the Senior Bowl. Former Alabama Crimson Tide. I told him I wish he would have stayed. Man, there's so many I want to pick. I'm going to say Trey Amos, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, and I'm going to go with a non-rookie and just continue the hype train for Javonte Jean-Baptiste. It's probably my 3. Honorable mentions. I mean, I got Debo, Laramie Tunsil, but how much are they going to play in preseason? We'll see. But like practices, training camp, I cannot wait to see Debo, man. Everyone was talking about Debo when it happened, and now it's kind of quieted down. It's going to ramp back up. I promise y'all, Debo is going to have a great year. Looking to see Jalen Lane on offense. I need to see that speed at slot. Yeah. And the one thing I was surprised about at the NFL premiere, like his pictures and stuff, he's bigger than I thought he was. That boy juiced up. I was like, Jalen Lane, you was running that fast looking like that. Like he did that one picture where he like flexed like in front of him. I was like, hey, yo, Jalen Lane is a rocked up slot guy, man. I talked to a couple people that are like Tech fans and stuff like that, because I didn't watch a lot of Tech games, honestly. Like I had to go back and watch some Jeremy Lane film. He is so much better than, he was underutilized. Obviously, quarterback play was, hit or miss there. Offense just, I don't know. It was all over the place. But man, he's rocked up. I'm not gonna say what Brock Bowers said about Ashton Genty, like, oh, he thick. I ain't gonna go that far. I don't know what he was thinking saying all that. But he's big. He's way bigger than I thought he was. I thought he was gonna be like some skinny, like when you're a slot receiver, like always a little teeny guy. Jalen Lane is fast, but he is strong. So don't be surprised when he's getting these like fast passes. And that's something that Jade was so good at last year. The quick passing concepts that Cliff was cooking up. I almost said Lane Kiffin. Wow. That Cliff was cooking up last year. The quick passes, those short and intermediate passes. There's going to be so much opportunity for Debo. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for Jalen Lane too. A lot of opportunity. Lane is a bigger D-Jax, and that'd be fine with me. That is great to hear. Great to hear. Lane reminds me so much of Terry coming out of Ohio State. I think VTech's offense didn't display him well. Yeah, it didn't at all. And then the 83, like both having 83. The thing with Terry was just like, he was so deep in the depth chart too. There's like, they have a lot of good wide receivers. Like Terry's good too. They just had so many bodies there. They had an offense, but it didn't like feature Terry, you know. Terry had his things he was good at. I think with Lane, it's just their offense wasn't that good, you know. Bashaw Tootin got his, but their offense was inconsistent. So they had some good wide receivers though. I like Bashaw Tootin too if he doesn't fumble, but just the offense as a whole was kind of sloppy. Terry reminds me of a little of Santana, same build. Talking about Terry, talking about Lane. I think both. Terry, I'm trying to think who Terry reminds me of, like in the past. But Lane, from what I've seen, reminds me. I kind of do like the D-Jacks. Like the build is very similar. Both super fast. I think Jalen Lane could play on the outside for sure. I think he's just going to be a lethal slot guy. You meant Lane? Yeah, I figured. But yeah, I mean, a mix between Santana and D-Jacks, but just being stronger than both. That's crazy. I can't wait to see what he does. So, all right, y'all. I appreciate y'all hopping on the stream. We're right at almost 2 hours. Make sure y'all are subbed up. Make sure you hit that thumbs up so it can get shared out to everybody. Follow me on social media at Josh Taylor FB and stay tuned. I will be doing a video Wednesday for Bleacher Report that goes live on their app, and then I always upload it here. So if you missed that, I'll upload here for sure, like right after. So probably like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night Eastern time. Haven't 100% decided what to do. Then also, if I have any crazy updates, like I got the job, I'll tell y'all probably Thursday. So stay tuned for that. JG with the final chat. What's a realistic expectation for our rookies to get starting time? I think fan expectations can be a little unrealistic. Honestly, Jalen Lane has the opportunity to start or just play a lot. I just think about like Alameda Zacchaeus. He played a lot last year. There's no reason Jalen Lane shouldn't be able to. I think he would. And then also I think he starts on special teams. Josh Connolly Jr., I think he definitely has the opportunity to start at right tackle. No reason not to. Ja'Cory Crosskey-Merritt, if he looks good in camp, looks ready, fresh legs, shows us something different we don't have, he has the opportunity to start, if not be like running back too. Trey Amos, I think he starts on the outside. I'm so high on Trey Amos. It's ridiculous. And then Kane Medrano is going to start on special teams for sure. And I think he could see some playing time on defense as like a rotational sub-package guy. Passing situations, obviously. I think he's going to thrive there. But yeah, special teams, he's definitely going to be out there with like Nick Bellore and Jeremy Reeves and those guys. And so, I mean, I think realistically, if you're counting special teams as starting, I think Kane Medrano is your fifth. So I think they all five start possibly. So yeah, Ja'Cory Crosskey-Merritt, they're obviously going to have a running back committee. So is he starting? If he's running back two, we'll see. They have a lot to figure out with that running back room though. Like Austin Eckler, B-Rob, Jeremy McNichols, Ja'Cory Crosskey-Merritt, Chris Rodriguez, Michael Wiley. And then I guess Demetric Felton is like a practice squad guy, but a lot of bodies in that running back room. So, like I said, guys, I'm going to be posting a lot more videos. Going to be going live a lot more often. I might even go live like every Monday night if Mondays are a good time. I don't like going live on the weekend because people are doing stuff. Same with like Friday nights. But I'm thinking like Monday or Thursday night, just until the season starts, I might go live every single like Monday or Thursday. Haven't really decided yet. Maybe it'll be Monday. I like Mondays. And I'm also going to be posting like 2 or 3 videos a week. So talking about expectations for rookies, talking about position battles in camp coming up, talking about rookies from last year, who step up, who can develop, just a lot of stuff. So I'm saving y'all from those clickbait. Washington's trading for Tyreek Hill. Get in here and put me in the chat so I can shout you out, and then we're going to put your name on a wheel and you're going to win a prize. Well, don't do that shit. So there's a lot to talk about. So I appreciate y'all. Fire stream. Thank you. Shout out, and I just want to say one last thing. Shout out to my boy Janky Rondo, Streamer University. That's my dog. Just I love seeing good people do good. And I've been watching Janky for the longest time. Me and my boy Aaron was watching him like years ago. And then he started popping out. I saw him at a game last year. And just super cool guy. You know, we've DM'd a couple times this off season. Popped up on our stream. Me and Rio had a stream. Was it after the Lions game? I think it was after the Lions game. And Rondo popped up. So just shout out to Janky Rondo. The whole Stream University thing. I don't like a lot of streamers, to be honest with you. There's only like 2 I like. And Rondo is definitely one of them. Being a guy that, you know, reps, especially biggest name in football, college football, any kind of football reactions, Janky Rondo is the best. So shout out to my boy. I watched an unhealthy amount of his streams on Twitch while he was at Streamer University, and I was dying the whole time watching him try to dance and stuff. So I just gotta give him his roses. I know he was dealing with a lot of lag and stuff on the first 2 days he had. Well, I just want to know, why were they in Akron, Ohio? That's the most random ass spot. They should have been somewhere where they actually had signal and stuff like that. But yeah, shout out, bro. Shout out Janky Rondo holding it down. That's my goat. That's my streamer goat. And anyone that reps the DMV too. So all for it. But I had to give him his roses before I dipped up out of here because it was funny. And if he wasn't in it, that's nothing I would have been watching at all. Like, I don't watch any of those guys. I don't watch Kai Cenat. I don't watch whatever the other guys' names are, Speed something. I don't watch any of them. But like Rondo, that's my guy. He's funny. He's genuine. He's a good ass dude. And he's good at what he does. So shout out to Rondo. Go follow him. Support his Twitch stuff. And I'm expecting a big season out of him. Football, interviews, stuff like that. I'm going to try to get him on here to collab. And I got some other collabs in the work too. So stay tuned. Maybe some new players, maybe some rookies. I'll leave y'all with that cliffhanger. And on that, I'll catch y'all next time. Peace. Much love.